Hello, my name is Elaine Macintyre and I'm the content manager in the digital media team at National Museum of Scotland. And as we come up to Halloween, I'd like to start today by telling you a spooky story. If I can get it to work. There should be music. Never mind. Okay, there should have been some spooky music with that, so you just have to imagine it. Well, I think the picture rather gave away what the boys found. They found 17 coffins, which each contained a carefully carved wooden figure. But why had these tiny corpses been buried on the slopes of Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh? What did they represent? This is a mystery that's baffled historians for almost 200 years. And this is also the kind of story that we wanted to tell on the National Museum of Scotland website in our Explore section. So today, today I'm going to take you on a journey to show you how we made this happen. So first of all, discovery. What is the Explore section? Well, in its first form, Explore was launched in 2014 when we redeveloped the National Museums Scotland website, taking it from this to this. So the aim of the Explore section, when we launched in 2014, was to fulfil the first theme of our department's digital strategy, which is opening up our collections. Before then, the information about collections had been quite scattered around the website. We had a highlights section, which was aimed at the general public, and we had a collections and research section, which was aimed at academics and professionals. But in reality, these sections overlapped a lot, and there was a lot of duplicate information. So we wanted to bring it together in one place. Explore is conceived as the online hub of our collections online, a web-based equivalent of a visit to one of our physical museums. It was where people could find out about the unique objects we care for and engage with their stories, no matter where they were in the world. We wanted to offer visitors an interesting and engaging experience with stories, games, and other resources. There's some examples of those. We wanted to put it into our collections into context between our 5 main collection strands, which are art and design, natural sciences, science and technology, Scottish history and archaeology, and world cultures. And we wanted to emphasise the diversity of our collections by showcasing a range of very different objects and including a Search the Collections section, which has a selection of the millions of objects that we have in our AdLib database. Mainly, however, we wanted to tell stories. This mantra lies at the heart of everything we do at National Museum of Scotland, so this is obviously what we wanted to do on Explore. To be honest, back in 2014, Explore wasn't the main focus of the website development, however. Research had shown us that the main reason people wanted to come to the website was to plan a visit to one of our museums. So what we focused on was helping people to do this as quickly and painlessly as possible. So poor Explore didn't get the attention or the budget that we would have liked at the time. So as a result, it was still, there was quite a lot of different stuff bunged into it. So stories about objects, games, a bit of academic research, and there was some pictures to colour in, this sort of thing. But it wasn't terribly well organised. But as you know, work on a website is never done, and we're always running in the digital hamster wheel, which is probably just as well, otherwise most of us would be out of a job. So as the new site bedded in, we realised we needed to do more running to make Explore better. We got the impression that Explore probably wasn't meeting the needs of its audience, and that this audience probably had quite different needs from the needs of people who are planning a visit. So you notice I said probably quite a lot there. That's because we didn't actually know. So in autumn 2014, I carried out some research into who was using Explore, how they were using it, and what we could do to improve it. And this was all part of the excellent Culture 24 Let's Get Real project, so thanks to them for giving me the time to do it. So what did we do? Well, I ran a Qualaroo survey, which pops up in the corner of the screen after you've been on Explore for a while, and this asked us 3 key questions. So what did you come to Explore to do? What did you actually do on your visit? And this was a closed question, so you could tick, for example, search for a particular object, look at images, play a game, and so on. And what can we do to make Explore better? And I also did a lot of stats analysis with our old friend Google Analytics. So what did we find out? Well, first of all, this really helped us define who the audience for Explore was at the time. And this was teachers and pupils, students, academics and professionals, adult learners, and a group that we call history hobbyists, who don't have particular qualifications but are just interested. And we also discovered that Explore has international appeal, and that over half the visitors came from the US, which we didn't realise before. So moving forward, we knew who was consuming our current content and also who wasn't. And that was people who have a more casual interest in the kind of topics we cover. So history, science, art, Scotland, mysteries, animals, and so on. This was a huge new audience, which we were hoping we could pull in with new kinds of content and better ways of accessing it. What else did we find out? Well, we found out that 33% of users were very happy with the site and were leaving positive comments like these ones. It's totes amazeballs is my favourite, I think, especially the nice spelling there. And we also found that lots of people were coming to play games, particularly school children. But it wasn't just games. You know, people wanted to find things and they wanted to learn things. And we also learnt that people love ancient Egypt, but I don't think we needed to do a survey to find that out. But on the flip side, we also discovered that people who knew what they were looking for often couldn't find it, and people who didn't know what they're looking for weren't being offered any easy routes into the content to browse and discover something new, because there were no filters, there were no tags, and there was no related content suggestions. So, what did we do? Well, first of all, we decided to look at other content-rich websites to see what they were doing and to see how we could borrow some of their ideas to improve Explore. So these included BBC I Wonder, which we really liked the way that this surfaces topical content, which is something that we were good at doing on social media and did all the time, but we just never attempted on the website. We like the Smithsonian's Simply Amazing site for its simple filters. And we like this, I don't even know how you say it, AWW Awards, which has amazing filtering that you can do. We like Medium with its time to read filter and the way it lures you to read more with its related content. And we love the new trend for long-form stories. For example, these amazing digital stories from the Wellcome Collection. And I'm not just saying that because we're here. We really like those. At the moment on the website, back in 2014, our longer stories ran in a central column down the middle of the screen with endless images, and they just look really dull. So we pulled together lots of inspiring websites onto this Tumblr, which is still available if you want to have a look at it. And we took this inspiration to our development agency, Lewis, who are based in Edinburgh. And together we came up with an achievable wish list for a new version of Explore. So the first thing we wanted was a simple homepage that we could curate. I know curators hate using that word, but to curate so that we could surface new and popular content, demonstrate the breadth of content we have, and link to seasonal and topical stories. We wanted a better way of embedding and displaying photos, videos, and audio. We wanted a long-form template so that we could easily create engaging multimedia stories. And we wanted to be able to split stories into chapters. We also wanted to improve signposting design and functionality for search the collections, which wasn't that easy to use. And we wanted to create a tagging system so that content could be grouped and filtered by topic. And we wanted to use the language that people actually use when they're searching online and not archaic museum collection terminology that no one understands. And we actually found that deciding on the tagging system was a key turning point in the project. We spent a day with the developers, Lewis, trying to find which filters would work with our specific parameters and our audiences. And this was done quite pragmatically, so that rather than coming up with a list of ideal museum filters that you might use, we looked at our existing content and at what people were searching for and decided how we could divide up what we had to be findable. And we were quite honest. Lots of people search on dinosaurs, but we've got two. So having a massive dinosaur category wasn't going to work. So once we kind of cracked this, the project seemed to flow pretty well. And the new redeveloped Explore was launched in May 2016, just this year. That makes it sound like it was really easy. We still had to migrate and rebuild over 200 pages of content, which took quite a long time, but we got it done. So this is our new homepage. So there's a film at the top, which shows some collection highlights. Each piece of content has a little symbol showing what it is. So if it's a story or a film, or we've not got an example of a resource, which is sort of school resources, that kind of thing, or a game. We can highlight feature content, like the game Gen here, which my colleague Rob is going to be talking about later today. And we could do topical things, like This Week in History pulls out a story that's relevant to the current week. And we can also put new content at the top. So here's the new Search the Collections. It now has a search only for records with image feature, which was really requested and is much more used now. We also have filters, which are based on what people are searching for. So we've got ancient Egypt, and I've selected a nice Halloweeny one for today, death, there we go. We've also got, my slide, I reordered my slides wrong. Sorry. So we've got chapters. We can split this into chapters. So there's a story about Mary Queen of Scots, and you can see there are all the different chapters, I think different aspects about her. Yeah, I just reordered these into the wrong order. That was clever. So we also have long-form stories, which are built up using various building blocks. So we can use quotes, we can divide content into single, double, or treble columns. We can use these wide images with text over the top. We can embed slideshows. We can have full-width video like this, or also smaller video if you want to use that. And we can embed maps and other content like that as well. So now we can tell stories like this. This is the rise and fall of Hamilton Palace, which is a dramatic dynasty-esque story of fame, fortune, excess, and loss. Or like this. This is a showcase for Owen Jones's sumptuous design book, The Grammar of Ornament. Or this. This is from minerals to your mobile. So you click on the little elements, and it'll take you through to more information about that mineral and what it's used for in your smartphone and where you can find it in the museum. And talking of museums, it all looks nice on mobile as well if you want to check it out. But did we succeed in meeting the expectations of our existing Explore audience and attracting new audiences in? And where are we going from here? Well, earlier in the year, earlier the month, Lewis entered Explore into the Scottish Creative Awards, and we won. So that's a good start. I think it shows that people are liking the site. This autumn, we'll be repeating our Qualaroo survey to see whether the changes we've made have made a difference. But in the meantime, I've also been doing some stats digging. So these stats are based on the first 3 months after the new Explore went live in May, and that's compared to the same period in the previous year. So there, scat slide. We can see that most site visits now include a look at Explore, so that's up 13%, and page views are also up. And that Explore visitors look at more pages than visitors who don't visit Explore, and they stay on the site longer. So our cunning plan to lure them in to reading more content does seem to be working. And Search the Collections is also up 59% in page views, which is pretty amazing, we think. Explore visitors are also twice as likely to come to the site via social media than non-Explore visitors, and social referrals to Explore have almost doubled since the same time last year. So we think this means that our other cunning plan to lure in more casual visitors via social media is also working. So here are some examples of the kind of things we've been posting on social. So we've been tying into seasonal events, anniversaries, popular hashtags. And so, for example, the Arthur Seat coffins were our big story for Halloween last year. Which brings us back to where we started. Who did bury the miniature coffins on Arthur's Seat? Was it, what have I done? Was it a witch? Was it a madman? Was it Deacon Brodie or Birkenhair? I'm afraid you'll just have to read the story to find out. Happy Halloween.